Welcome back. I am Uppbeat, and this is my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Darksiders, a 2010 hit from Vigil Games. Now, Vigil went through a couple of name changes. They became essentially Crytek USA, and then again to Gunfire Games. You would probably know of them from their games Darksiders 3 and Remnant from the Ashes.
Now we've got good news and bad news. I could start with the good, but I'm going to start with the bad. This game is incredibly linear. Now every area you come into is wide open. Plenty of enemies to fight. Plenty of chests hidden behind doors that you need to come back later in the game for. But there's only one way in and one way out. Now it's not a deal breaker, but it does kind of limit the expansiveness of the game. Another downside I've noticed is the cutscenes. Now, I love the voice acting, but the cutscenes? I don't know. Just bring some popcorn. I'll tell you one thing this game does have going for it. It's the action. For the sake of transparency, I was in no way ready for this game. I started and stopped roughly a dozen times, going absolutely nowhere. I finally told myself that I had to get through it, and I'll tell you, pleasantly surprised. This entire thing reminds me of God of War. And by remind me, I mean, you're one of the horsemen. Your name is War. And I'm not really invested in the whole premise. The Christianity thing just doesn't really hit the same way as Roman and Greek mythology does. And in terms of age, I mean, you wouldn't know that it came out in 2010, aside from the character design. Some of the characters are just really big and blocky, but that's just an observation. The combat is a ton of fun. And honestly, it seems like every boss is bigger than the last. The entire thing is just a big adventure to find new weapons, power-ups, finishing moves. Now you're gonna come up with a lot of different places throughout the game that you're gonna have to wait until you get some mystical, magical thing to come back and open it. And each room area has what's called trials, and they have like different game mechanics or challenges or whatever to kind of introduce a different play style. And these puzzles in this game are ridiculous. Some of them are so massive in size, it's tough to get a handle on all the things that you have to do within it. Move a train, turn a lever, move a mountain, destroy a bridge. And honestly, every time I feel like the game is about to wrap it up, there's just another thing that opens up. I mean, it's another weapon type, another upgrade, and it ranges from riding a griffin even unlocking a gun. And I'll tell you, I think I might have read a different Bible. The one I read didn't mention guns.
Now honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with this, the whole experience. I didn't get a chance to play this back in 2010, nor did I get a chance to play it in 2016 with the remaster. But honestly, it's a welcome departure from the typical Greek, Roman, Viking history that we're so used to. The only downside I saw was the character himself, War, if you will. He made a couple of choices, and he has some dialogue that makes me feel like he's an ungrateful turd. And I understand that he's not human, so there are some liberties to be taken with that. But at the same time, it kind of brings up a bigger question as to how close or how human a character has to be, or how far of a departure you can take away from it before the user or player or whoever loses interest and can no longer sympathize or empathize with the main character, with the protagonist. But I digress. Overall, I'd give this a 9 out of 10. Everything about it is amazing. It's exactly why we love games like God of War or Devil May Cry or Legacy of Kain back in the day. The only issue I had was the character development. But honestly, it's easy to overlook something that simple for 20 hours of fun. I've got a link to their Steam page, their homepage, the music I used, and my Twitch in case you want to come by and hang out for a bit. But as always, thanks for stopping by.